Those days, drawing in hundreds of thousands of viewers and on the big nights, the big matches, the showbiz stardom that you enjoyed. It's a long way from your start in life, Eamon.
Yeah.
Son of Paddy and Peg Dunphy, growing up in a single room in 1950s Drumcondra. You've described it as a very loving home, but in your book, you've written about it. It was a time in Dublin marked by austerity, or worse, the grinding poverty that came with unemployment, presided over by a callous and greedy ruling class. How did that upbringing shape you?
I think it gave me a keen understanding of how it feels to be poor, to be the victim of injustice. Also, it gave me a sense of perspective to appreciate good things that you had. It certainly gave me a sense of right and wrong, just and unjust. And that's something that made me take an interest in politics, which I always had done and have done, whether they be Irish, English, or American politics. And I think that tough upbringing, which it was, can make you or break you. But it did give me determination to confront injustice where it was in front of me, to fight for rights of people. Poverty generally doesn't confer much on people. But one thing it does is it gives you a look at a certain reality that awaits if society isn't careful.
You said in an interview with the Irish Times a few years ago that your start in life has lasting effects that you can never overcome. You never catch up on the privileged, even if you're ostensibly successful. Yes. I thought that was interesting that it does leave a mark. I wonder how, did it drive you, because you did become successful in life, but you never felt that you had caught up on a certain class of people?
No, it doesn't. If you start disadvantaged, mostly that will stay with you for the rest of your life in some form or another. You might not get an education. For example, I didn't. I left school when I was 13. I was forced to. Now, that, for obvious reasons, is a huge disadvantage. And there were lots of jobs and lots of work that I couldn't do. I don't think you do ever catch up. But I don't think your life should be about catching up. I think what you should do always is appreciate what you've got. And my mother and father always instilled that. My mother in particular always instilled in me the notion that although we lived in very modest circumstances, in poverty really, we were very lucky compared to other people. And the other people she would have been referring to were youngsters in Africa. I mean, you often wonder why Irish people are so good at giving for, what we used to call black babies, putting money in boxes, sending off to charities, supporting Goal and Trócaire and all of that. And it's true that Irish people are amazingly generous in those things. I think it comes from our own poverty and our own sense that back in the day, in the days of the famine, back in the days of grinding poverty in Ireland, rural and urban Ireland, that we'd had bad times.
You mentioned that it was a real sense of a loving home, and you talked there about the perspective that your parents gave you. They loved each other very much, and you and your brother as well. But I wonder, did they also give you that sense of integrity? They were clearly people of integrity themselves. Your father, he refused to join the local Fianna Fáil common, even though it meant losing his job at a time of mass unemployment.
Yes.
And your mother took the landlord to the High Court to stop being evicted from that room in Drumcondra. So did you get that sense of standing up for your principles from them?
I think I got my character. You do get your character from your parents. My brother was a very fine man, God rest him, he's dead now. And we were both very fortunate. We grew up in a happy home, in a loving home, in a home where religion was very much real. And my mother's character, strength of character, carried the family through when there was, really rough times. Money ran out on a Wednesday, and that was like the average week. Pay didn't come until Friday. And lots of people still live like that. Not so many as used to, but many people, that's the way they live. Paycheck to paycheck, and the paycheck doesn't go all the way. So if you've grown up in that background, with that background, it's very hard to be, greedy, whinging, grasping, looking for more. You really do appreciate what you have. And I think that all my life I've been able to do that, I hope.
I talked about integrity and principles. Which of them did you get your sense of devilment from? The fondness of a sing-song and a flutter?
I think my father was a lovely man. He liked sing-song, he liked his pint. Was a very popular man, very genial man. So that's probably where I got it. My mother was too, actually. She loved to go to pictures and that. They were wonderful people, and there's a bit of devilment in most Irish people anyway. A bit of fun, and I got my share.